Welcome to the Sunday morning simulcast with Rom Wills. Rise from the ground. Now, y'all probably heard this theme before, and you know what? I'm gonna keep doing it because so many people have hit the ground. So many people, in one way or the other, whether it's through the finances, their relationships, everything going. We have all reached that low point. Anybody who say they haven't, I'm like, you really haven't lived life. Everybody's had a low point. And the only thing is, it's just different. You know, somebody else's low point, you might be like, ah, that ain't nothing. But you know what? It was a low point for them. We've all hit the ground. I'm gonna tell you what, you gotta rise from it, no matter what. You know, that's one thing. You got to start from zero. Like I said, this is a theme I'm always going to talk about because I've been at several low points in my life and would rise from it. Other people will pick up on it. Anybody can do it. There's nothing so special about me or anybody else who rose from the ground except they said, I got to get up. Because I'm going to tell you what, when you hit that low point, first of all, there's only place you can go. One place you can go is up. Yeah, you can stay at that point, but you're staying there. If you make a movement, all you have to do is go up. You can't stay at that low point. Shoot, they ain't helping you at all. And you can't go any lower. Shoot, I've seen it. I've seen people do that. I've heard stories about and read stories about people who might have been homeless and they would rise up. They didn't have any idea. I've known some homeless men. I haven't met a homeless woman, but I've known some homeless men. They be sleeping in their cars and everything, but then they would rise up. They would rise up. And I don't care what it is. Now, how do you do that? People will say, well, how do I do that? First, you take the first step up. I'm going to tell you what, here's something. Just the idea that you want to be better, everything opens up for you. Everything opens up for you. It's whatever your spiritual path, whatever your set of beliefs, whatever it is, it'll have that too. You take that step forward, you'll have help. Sometimes just, you know what, say you hit the ground, and you know, metaphorically, you on the ground, you laying there. First thing you got to do is probably just sit up right there on the ground. That's something right there because it's a better position than just laying on the ground. And then as you get up, you stand in better position. One of the things when you rising up, one of the things you got to do and look at it is every little step is something. Like you don't have to like just jump up and all of a sudden be on top of the world. You just have to take a little step. Like say you really hit bottom. You might have got kicked out of your apartment, evicted. You might have had, lost your job, everything. Lost that mate, everything. Okay, all right. And that's ground, then you on the ground then. All right, first thing is, okay, I lost that job. Let me get another one, you know? And let me get myself together for another mate. You know, I can still always get another place. But, you know, you got to take it step by step. You know, you ain't trying to do it all at once. Just take the first step, rising above the ground is just sitting up and then getting up. And it might be slow. It might be slow metaphorically. That's okay. That's okay because you get that solid foundation. But here's the thing. As you rise up, stuff opens for you. Like, let me use the metaphor laying on the ground. You look around, just do it. When you're at home, just lay down on your carpet or hardwood floors, whatever you got. Shoot, if you outside, go lay on the grass. You look around, you can't see a lot, can you? You can't see a lot, but then when you sit up, all of a sudden you can see a bit more. And then when you stand up, even more. That's the same thing if you go to the ground with anything. You just gotta take those steps up. As you moving up, as you climbing, then stuff open up for you. All of a sudden you might see that job that you need. You might run into that person who is a potential mate who would be good for you. You know, you probably get a better place. You know, you might get a better place. Yeah, you might not have to sleep in that car on the street anymore. But you got to take the steps up, you know. And you got to have that attitude. You got to have that attitude because we all going to fall. And, you know, as a saying was, you know, And they had this in that movie Batman Begins. Why do we fall? So we can rise. And I've seen some motivational people, they would use that same thing. And see, well, I'm gonna tell you something now about hitting the ground. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes that's a good thing, you know? Regardless of your path, one thing is said in some paths is once God closes a door, God just opens up another door. And sometimes when you hit the ground, you say, well, okay, why am I here? Maybe you were following a path that you didn't need to follow. You know, why'd you lose that mate? Maybe they weren't good for you. Maybe that job wasn't what you were supposed to do, regardless of what it is. But you'll sit back, like one of the things you want to do is sit back, okay, why am I here? Okay, I'm on the ground. How did I get to the ground? Okay, I can't do the things that got me to the ground to begin with. You know, you might have to leave some friends alone. You might have to move. You're going to have to do something different. Because if you hit the ground, I don't care what it is, and then you do the same thing over, you're going to hit the ground again. If you rise up and do the same thing over, but see, when you rise up, that might be a different path. You're gonna be thinking, you know what, let me do something different. Let me rise up and do something different. Let me walk on this different path. And see, once you start walking that different path, you'll look back. I'm gonna tell you what, you'll look back at that time on the ground and say, you know, that was one of the best things to happen to you. That was one of the best things, because it got you out of where you were and you went to a higher level, you know? And that's important to everybody. I've seen that happen. I've experienced it personally. I've seen it happen. You know, people hit that rock bottom, but then they look at why they hit the rock bottom and say, okay, I can't do that anymore. Because let me give a great example. A lot of people hit rock bottom because they're using illegal substances, or even they might be drinking too much. They're doing a bunch of negative stuff. Now, if they learn from that lesson, because you got to look at stuff like that as lessons, then they rise up to do better, you know? Then they rise up, because even being on the ground, it's a lesson. You know, I've seen a lot of people, they've had some terrible things when they were low, but then they saw life a different way. Indeed, some people, that's their life mission, to help others up. Once they've been there, they will go look back and say, hold up, I got to help some other people there, help them up. And they helping them through showing their own example. That's very important. That's very important. So you wanna just rise. And yeah, you know I'm gonna hit this theme again because it's a constant theme out here. Like I said, we, including myself, we've been at that bottom rung, but we just rise up from it, no matter what. And I've seen it, I still see it with many people. And I also see some people going down. Like, and I'm gonna be real, just a personal thing. If I know the person well and I see them going down a bad path, I'll tell them. Whether they listen or not, I'm gonna be a real friend and say, hold up, man, or lady, you know, I'll be like, hold up, man, hold up, sis. I see where you're going. This ain't a good thing. They can choose to listen or not, you know, because I've been down that road, you know, so you can still help people. So it's very important. So you want to rise. I don't care. You hit the bottom, only place you can go is up. Just do it nice and slow. First you sit up, then you stand up, maybe get on a knee, then, you know, stand up fully. You'll see your perspective will change. You'll see things differently. But the thing is, learn the lesson for why you got to the ground to begin with. If you do that, I've seen people succeed. I've seen it. I've done it myself. I've seen other people succeed when they rise from the ground and definitely go a different path so they don't hit the ground again. So anyway, that's all I have for today. Y'all keep rising, okay? That's why I say keep rising. Y'all keep rising, okay? Peace and blessings.